So today we are going to speak about a really interesting topic that I really like actually. It's about complaining, and actually it's about not complaining and why actually complaining I believe is bad. And we will also compare different cultures and different let's say background. In some countries people complain way more. Sometimes in other countries people don't even understand the way how other people complain. It's about education as well. It's about it's mostly about education, about religion as well. And finally we see why you should focus mostly on the positive part instead of obviously always seeing the negative part. Today, obviously, I have my wonderful guest, and here she is. So, Elle, welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm back again, as always.
Amazing. So we have actually my guest and myself have two different backgrounds about complaining. In my case, I have mostly a kind of a Belgian slash French background. So normally and back home as well as my parents, my friends, they love complaining, they love debates. I have worked in France and in Paris actually. So to me, Paris is definitely the capital of complaining, and people just love it. And sometimes I even had some discussions where some French were complaining because I wasn't complaining. And they do that also with others. Yeah,
Oh
they
my
don't
God.
understand. Like they say, "What's wrong with you? Why you don't complain about this?" And so that's my background. And my beautiful guest, she has a Asian background, and I know it's quite different. In Asia, usually you wouldn't complain. At least you wouldn't say it directly, and even alone, I believe you won't complain. We'll discuss about this. So actually, why not about starting with the Asian culture and how do people do in Asia?
Okay, so as you all know, if you've been listening to our podcast, I'm Asian. I came from the Philippines, so I do not in any way, shape, or form speak of all the Asian community. Of course not, because we're all in the end of the day we're all individuals. We're all different. Of course, there are more people in Asia that complain as well, just like the French. They will complain. I'm gonna complain. It is my right. It is my, yada yada yada. People are gonna
Ooh,
complain still.
yes.
But in the culture, it's a bit different. Most of the time, it's gonna be some sort of ad, an aberrant, if should I say that, but a bit of an aberrant if you complain, like full on complain to people, like, can I speak
You
to the
won't
manager?
be well seen. Like
100%.
people will say, yeah, it's not. Um, people don't have. I mean, people don't really like others complaining, right?
Yeah, you will be not seen well. People would think that you're stuck up. Not in my country. Okay, I'm not sure with the other ones, but in my country, it's
I
like,
think it's the same with the other.
yeah,
From
because
what I heard, I
yeah,
have
we're
heard.
we're all about politeness. Okay, so I mean, the service is bad, food is bad. I'm gonna say, what is wrong with this place? But just whisper amongst us
But
stuff.
you won't ask your money back.
We won't ask our money back. No.
Because it's not like people just don't do that.
No, if the juice is not good, so we think that it's, what is this? We'll just not drink it and leave it.
But will you ask? Because I believe in my case I'm a really good person about not complaining. However, when even recently when I have a coffee, and you know me, I love coffee, and if the coffee is not good, or once I had a soy flat white, and the soy latte was like, the soy flat white, it was like really thick and I couldn't drink it. I just asked a new one if they could make a new one, because I said, I think it's not, there's something, there's a problem with my coffee, and they directly made a new one. Well, I believe this is not complaining, it's more about confrontation.
Oh yeah, that too.
Mm.
Well, I believe that we're really afraid of confrontation. Like, it's a big thing. Confrontation is a big step out of your comfort zone, I would say.
Oh.
Like,
Do you think it's about
difficult.
not, is it a fear of not, like, if someone won't like you? Is it a fear of, I don't know, is it a fear of showing maybe like a disagreement with someone?
Yeah, how people perceive us is also important for us. It's like when you fight back, or when you complain, or just outright just rant about things, it's like people are gonna see you well, even though, okay, the food has, I don't know, pubic hair on it, and if you like go on out of the roof and say, what is wrong with this place,
you won't
like
ask to see the manager, and
it's like it's a bad approach in our culture. It's like, couldn't you
it's
just...
It's bad to do that.
It's bad to... Couldn't you just stand up and then go to the kitchen and say, hey... Don't do it in public.
It's not a man... people just... it's like... It's rude, maybe.
It's rude. It's like, you could just do it privately. Ask for...
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, privately, yeah.
Privately. You know what?
You don't want the whole... Yeah, it's not because your food is bad that it's a fault of the waiter, the waitress, or even about the chef or the person who made your food. Sometimes, they didn't realize that it wasn't well cooked, or, sometimes, we are not robots. So, yeah, but I think, to me, it's still important to mention it, and so you will have, otherwise you will eat, or you won't even eat at all, something you ordered, and you have the right to mention if it's not good, and most of the time they will make a new meal for you because they want you to be happy, but obviously not to shout in the
area,
in the area for others. No, you don't. You just want to speak privately to the person, the person of the place.
Yeah, actually, this is a real story I'm telling you, okay? I used to work at Cebu.
Yes.
I used to work there, and then we went to this really...
So Cebu, it's a city in the Philippines.
It's a province, and it's also
a province.
city.
Oh, yeah.
Cebu City. Yeah, so I was at Cebu City, and then I was dining with a friend, with her mom, and we were at this really famous fast food chain. So it was like, people are busy, stuff like that, and... And then something happened.
Yeah.
The waiter actually spilled a juice on a woman's bag. She was sitting down, and the waiter was standing up.
And you saw that situation.
I mean, just a glimpse, But then you would see in the context that just juice spilled on her bag. Yeah. She was just quiet. She was not speaking at all.
Oh, wow,
she did not complain. The waiter said, I am so sorry. We will make the food on the house. She did not say anything. Just, probably she's so pissed because it's a bit embarrassing. Let's be honest here.
Especially on your back, and it depends where you have to go after.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't the fault of the waitress. Definitely not. That happens.
That happens.
It did happen too when I was working in hospitality.
Yeah.
Actually.
And gladly for you, there's nobody there, or people dodge quickly. But for her, she didn't know, and the waiter could not do anything because it's always.
I know it's already there. Yes, you can just give a lot of tissues.
Tissues, that's it. But then the embarrassment.
And saying the food will be on the house.
Yeah.
But then that waitress has to speak to the manager and to explain the situation, and then But
then the customer was really just quiet. She did not say anything at all. I was like, okay, that was a bit awkward. And she just continued eating, and she left. I think, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me right. Yes. But yeah, that's it. That's basically zero complaints at all. It's just she doesn't want to burst because she's probably a bit angry, a bit upset with what happened. But she did not.
Good temper.
Good temper.
People keep their temper.
She did not want to lose it in a public place. Yes. So she just kept quiet, held it in.
Because do you think in your culture if you start to fight, I speak about verbal fight, or to be upset, or just to lose your temper, it's like it's bad behavior.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it is usually, but for
is
some people, like in France, it's just normal.
it is a bit
It's
of a
the
bad
way how
behavior.
people communicate. I would say, especially in Paris, I haven't really been in a lot of places outside of Paris, but I used to live in Paris, so I can speak about Paris for sure.
Yeah, and it's like she's he's just a he's just a worker. He's making minimum wage. She's probably making more, and people are gonna think of her as
Oh,
she must
people
have think
speak
little.
about money?
Yeah. Oh
Or
no,
do you-
not
no.
about that, but more like she probably thinks little of him just because he's working in a fast food chain. If she just started to maybe have an argument or or complain, it's just like people are gonna see you differently, and it
Really?
leads in a negative way.
So people think if I complain, people won't understand my situation, that what the waitress did was bad, was more, that person shouldn't complain.
More like, he's white.
Yeah.
Oh, he's probably thinking that he's better than us.
Oh, really?
Usually,
Oh,
and
wow,
I don't speak for everybody.
Yeah, I see.
I don't speak for everybody.
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I don't speak for everybody. It could be that
Yeah.
could be because she held it in like a champion.
I see what you
say.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you wanna,
She was Filipino, by the way.
she was Filipino,
Yeah.
yes. But then if if you want to say something, maybe do it privately. That would be much better for us. We don't like confrontation,
Yeah.
and that's why we don't complain that much.
Oh yeah.
How about you, sir? I know you have plenty to say.
Yes, I think I still have a few questions for you.
Yeah.
So
shoot.
even in your family, you don't, like, at home, with your parents, siblings, and so on, and other members of the family, do you complain about, I don't know, the government, about companies, about, you say, for who you will vote, this one, no, he's like, it's bad, this is bad, the situation is bad. Do you do that?
We don't talk about politics at home. That is so weird. I mean,
Really?
unless if you're so into politics.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So even, like, do people ask you, I mean, obviously it's not the topic of this podcast, but no one will ask you to who you will vote for?
I mean, they'll just casually ask it, but not really
But
have
you
a
won't-
full-on
oh, yeah.
debate and say,
It's not
why are
the
you
whole
voting
of-
for him? No.
Okay, it's
We
not
don't have
part
that.
of the family dinner.
Conversation?
Yeah.
No. I mean, unless if you're like a really political family, it's like,
No,
hey, Dad,
but
we're
normal
voting."
conversation.
Normal conversation.
Oh.
For a normal family
think
like
it's-
me.
yeah.
Okay, but I don't speak for everybody. This is a disclaimer. I don't speak for
Interesting.
everybody, but for us, why? It's just a bit of a waste of a time, let's be
Okay.
honest here. Like, why are we going to speak about political...
I think it's
things,
something
you know?
really French or Belgian.
Oh, okay.
All the
then.
time, yeah. Okay, and do you complain about the
Food?
government doesn't do well their job and
Oh,
stuff?
no, not about that. We complain about the internet. It's like, why are we paying for this?
But not about,
the internet
but
source?
the internet is about the provider.
Yeah, the provider, yes. It's nothing about people. But yeah, we complain about those, but then
But then,
we don't stretch it out and say,
yeah.
like, talk about it for an hour. It's like,
Oh,
why?
okay, yeah,
like,
I see.
It sucks. We all know it.
Yes.
Let's call them.
Do you complain about the weather?
Not really. I mean,
No,
wow, it's so hot. Probably that. Is that complaining? I'm not sure.
No, but sometimes, so bad weather, I hate, and some stuff.
Not
like that.
really.
No.
It's like, wow, it's so hot. I'm sweating like a pig. Probably that.
Yeah.
But then, but you know what? I heard okay, this is not a story of mine, but as I heard it, because we just live like next door, we're neighbors. So my aunt and uncle were just neighbors. So actually, my cousin is trying to be like a good cook,
Yes.
So he cooked like a dish, like it's it's
Chef kisses.
chef's kisses, yes, but it's fish, but it's I don't know how to explain it, but you boil the fish with a little bit of salt, with a bit of vinegar. It's like it's like I forgot the name of unam, yes.
Sounds really good.
Unam, yes. Oh no, not was it? No. Was it Oh, I think it was a different one. It was it was like a soup, a fish soup, I would say.
Yes.
But then he cooked it and stuff like that, and then they were eating. And actually, the father commented, "Oh, we only need the wave now so that we
The
would
wave.
yeah, the wave, so that we would feel the sea, because it was apparently very salty.
Oh.
The sun
So that
got
was a kind of a.
a bit of is it a bit of a complaint, but in a
Not really a
joking way?
complaint, just
A comment.
a comment on it.
Yeah,
A little bit of negative comment with a little bit of humor.
a little bit of humor, but the
Yes.
son did not take it well.
Oh.
He did not take it well. He did not spoke to his
Maybe
father
because
for like
he
the whole
spent
night.
so long to do it.
Not really.
No,
It's just
but
a-
maybe he wanted. Maybe it was a joke, but at least maybe sometimes there are some truth. I mean, maybe it was true.
It
just-
is true, probably. It was like
Uh,
sometimes this is why we just this is why just shut
but you,
our mouth.
yeah.
Yeah, but I once burnt a pig, because I was pressurizing the pig, and my
Oh, what do you mean?
like putting it in a pressure cooker.
Oh, dead pig.
Of course, yeah. Like
Yes.
what do you mean? Okay, sorry,
Okay,
but like a pig meat,
Yeah, okay.
I don't put a whole pig in a pressure cooker anyway. So I was doing that for 2 slices of pig,
Yes.
2 slices of pig meat. Please don't be mistaken. I put it there, and I burnt it. I burnt it. And then I burnt
not
it.
pig anymore.
But then it's still okay. But it's
yeah.
burnt a bit. But then I apologized profusely to my mother.
Oh,
I said,
yeah.
I am
Mom,
so sorry
yeah.
for burning the pig. This is our food, and then I burnt the pig. And she's like, you know what? It actually tastes a bit good. My mom was like,
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So seems a positive
Yeah.
on it. So
It
you
tasted
focus.
good,
Yeah.
but it's a bit burnt. Yeah.
Okay, so I love that story.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was like, she didn't say, oh yeah, it is. You have to be more careful next time. She didn't tell you that.
No, she didn't. She's like,
She knows that you will learn. Oh yeah, because usually my family, even my mom, she's, I would say, okay, disclaimer, my mom, she's nicer than my dad, but she would say, oh, okay, I shouldn't say that, but she would maybe she would say, oh, next time you have to be careful not to burn it, which is normal.
Normal, that's normal.
But
yeah.
this is not, it's not really complaining. But but I like it because you know anyway, you don't need someone to say that to you. You know, actually it makes sense. Who doesn't know that next time you shouldn't burn it? No one has to tell you that. Everybody knows that you shouldn't. You know your mistake anyway, and you said it to your mom before. So
yeah, that I burnt the pig.
no comment.
I'm sorry, mom.
But so this is about not complaining. But do you see usually, like, if there's something bad and something good, do you always highlight the positive? Like, there's a way where you can just ignore or not mentioning what's negative, just not mentioning it, but not highlighting what's positive. Like, if something is okay, but maybe, I don't know, you go to a hotel, the hotel is not the best, the room is not the best, however, maybe the bed is really good, but everything else is bad, like the shower is bad, there's mold on the wall, but the bed is amazing, and the breakfast is bad, but instead of mentioning everything that is bad, you could either not mentioning anything, or maybe just to highlight, wow, the bed is so good.
Yeah.
Would you fulfill the negative with the positive, or just ignore everything?
I think it's good to mention. It's not. It's,
So because you don't really mention the negative, but would you mention the positive?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, mention everything that you think is. Let's not focus on. Be constructive. Constructive criticism is the best. It's like, this is the facts.
Yeah.
This is this and that, and these are the negatives. Pros and cons. Those are subjectives. I like it because the bed is good. I like it because the toilet hole is big for my, for when I flush my, when I flush my, really important things. We don't get the toilet cloth, but then they don't clean that often. Heads up,
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. So yeah, at least, the toilet is really good. It's like efficient.
Efficient,
Yeah.
We need to bring back large host.
When you
toilet,
take a dump, it won't be stuck.
It won't be stuck. We digress. I'm so sorry, but this is real
At least you highlight it.
You highlight the good parts, and that is one of the good
Yes.
parts.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Okay, so when you go to a restaurant, the waitress did an amazing job. You have people around you. Would you say, "Oh, thank you so much what you did. I really appreciate what you did." Can you say that? That's good.
It's good, but then it's not part of our culture to say, "Wow,
No. Oh
you're
yeah.
such a great
So
waitress."
when
It's like, no, no, not
no,
really. It's like, oh,
not
thank you.
maybe
That's it.
that's more like English
That's more like
culture.
in Western countries. It's like,
I mean,
yeah.
in France, people don't say, "Wow, that's amazing," either. But it depends. In my case, I mean, in England, people do that a lot. In Australia as well. Canada, yeah, it depends. But usually, sometimes, yeah, usually. But yeah, in the US, it depends on the state as well. Oh yeah, so when the service is really good, I mean, like, I don't know, you ask for something, or can you give me, I don't know, uh, so, I don't know, something, salt, napkins, I mean, serviettes, whatsoever. Would you say, oh, thank you? I mean, yeah, you say that, but you don't really, if the waitress was really, I mean, really nice with you and did the best for you, or maybe the coffee is just excellent, would you say, wow, that coffee, I mean, I really like it? No, I mean,
Not really.
yeah.
That sounds a bit weird. It's like, are you hitting on
But
me?
sometimes,
Like,
oh,
hello.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Because especially Philippines is so well known about hospitality. You know that,
I
right?
see. So
So
you mean the hospitality is really good?
hospitality is really good. It's like,
Right.
yeah.
Because, oh, so sometimes it might be misunderstood. So, okay, you don't really complain, but when it's positive, you have to be careful. I mean, yeah, it's really interesting about the culture because sometimes here it did happen, like, I don't remember when it was, but I had, was it a latte? A coffee I mean, I don't remember what kind of coffee I ordered, and it was really good. So then I gave back the cup on the counter, and when I left, I said, yeah, the coffee was really good. I really liked it. It's not so. Sometimes I know here people will.
It's
Yeah,
normal.
it's really normal. I used to say, oh, like that coffee was really good. I mean,
But I mean, if you do it in
yeah.
our in the Filipino setting,
see,
they
yeah.
won't see it as like hitting on you. It's like
Yeah.
you have a different culture, and we know that. So yeah, like, oh, he complimented us with the coffee, and then yeah,
Good.
that's okay. You know.
So let's go back to the negative part about complaining. So yeah, I believe that's really good because when you focus yourself on the negative part, I believe you will always see what's bad. And some people say it helps you, like, your standard is really high, and so you will be harsh with others, and it will force them to be better and better. But I'm not sure if I really agree with that because actually in France, like when you go to a restaurant, the service is not amazing. Like I have been in restaurants, bars, and compared to the UK, to Australia, to New Zealand, the service is way behind. I mean, way behind. Yeah, usually it is. Yeah, it's quite harsh, and even like there are, like, if you go to a restaurant and you just order an entree, so not main meal, or the same in Belgium actually. The same in Belgium occurs. So Belgium, France, the same in Germany, but now it depends of the places, but it's quite common if you just order a small meal, if you are two people and you just order one meal. Like here in Australia, I was amazingly surprised. People don't care. They say, oh yeah, of course. In Belgium, no, they will say, no, go out. I mean,
Oh, wow.
you cannot stay there. And once I remember I went with my sister in a bar, it was on a terrace actually, and there were a lot of seats. And I didn't want to have a drink. I didn't want to drink alcohol, so I just sat on the seat with my sister. My sister wanted to have a cocktail, so she ordered a cocktail, and then the waiter asked me, "So what would you like, sir?" I said, "Oh, I drank already. I won't drink." So he said, "Then you cannot use the chair." So I said, "Okay, I will stay stand up then." And then directly you have like kind of confrontations, and because of that, and then my sister, she said, "Oh, I will order glass of water, I don't know." But he didn't want me to sit because I didn't order a drink. And that's really common. And
Wow.
directly, because especially the waiter, usually this waiter or waitress, they say that in not in a really nice way. Directly, the customer will be a bit like, oh, then I will, like, it will start not a fight, but it starts in a negative way. It's not starting well. It's already like about confrontation. Oh, do that, do that, do that. Don't do that. Then I don't stay. Then I will stay. Stand. It's not good. So in my part, I will speak about me. So yes, I have been living in France. I'm from Belgium, but yes, in Belgium is quite similar too. And yeah, discussions actually, like if you don't know what to speak to someone, you have just a blank. If you complain about just the weather, or people love complaining about politics, it's actually the main topic. You go to the bars, in the bars you hear people complaining about politics. You go to anywhere in a restaurant, you walk in the street, people will complain about something. I was in London, there are a lot of French people in London. Every time I heard people speaking in French, it was about complaining about something. Oh, people don't drive on the same way in France, this is bad. Or the sockets are not the same as the EU sockets, it's annoying. Or, and this is really like, why you don't focus on the positive? Oh, it's so expensive. Oh, the food is bad. Even here in Australia, I met some French and they said I will come back to France because the food here is horrible. But they don't focus on everything else that is good, Like, I don't know. But I know that for some people, I think about a lot of people, also about Asian people, food is so important, like comfort food, And when you are abroad, you like to cook your homemade food. But so for some others, they just say, no, I cannot cook properly my French food, I have to go home. Like I have heard that. In my case, no, I eat everything. Fortunately, I'm quite easy for that. But I don't understand. Like, so when I was living in France, like, and in Belgium, it's exactly the same. During your dinner meal, yeah, people speak about. They complain about, but everything is just normal discussion. Like, there was that pandemic, COVID. So obviously, people complain about the government that they do it so badly. They don't do it well. But actually, they are not. It's easy to say that when they are just in the living room in front of the TV and they say, oh, the president is so bad, he doesn't take the right decision, because it's not easy to do that. They say it, but they don't have the pressure, they don't have the stress. If they will be the president, they will probably not do it better. But people just do it because they always think it's the fault of someone else. It's not my fault, it's always someone else's fault. You drive, you have an accident, of course it's because of the weather, it's because of that car, it's because of that bird, it's not because of me. And they will always complain about that. There was a tree there and it's the fault of the console because they didn't cut that tree and so I had that accident. Always. And yeah, it's like everyday conversation. And also about debates. People love debates on TV all the time, like debates. Yeah, they like to have debates. Some people think they fight each other, but it's just normal discussion. They just love that. During Christmas meal with the family, they will always have debates. Always, it's like, yeah, people just love it. So when you are in a restaurant, when you see someone fighting, it's just normal. Like it's the way how people behave. Once because when I was living in France, before that I was in the UK as well, and people in the UK, I thought it was amazing. Like, they don't care. Like they would go to a bookshop, they would just sit on the floor and reading. It's fine. In France, if you do that, people will look like in a weird way and say, "What's wrong with you? Why are you on the floor?" Like you should stand up because there are no chairs. But yeah, you should stand up. But if you are tired, why not to be on the floor? And then people even will do some, they will speak to you and they say, "Don't stay on the floor. Don't do that." They like to say, even if they don't know you, but they will speak to you. It did happen also for me. Like I was buying a train ticket, but I had my headphone. It wasn't headphone; it was earphone on my ears, and the person, the cashier told me, "Oh, you shouldn't have your earphone. It's rude. You speak to me remove it. I mean, that's maybe, yeah, I don't know, but directly people like, I believe in Asia people would say nothing, you know, they won't say to you, don't do that, you know. People like to say, I know better than you what to do, not to do. Once I was in McDonald's in Paris, and you know, in the UK, people just leave the tray
On the table?
on the table. And so I said, okay, I will leave it to tray on the table. And I left my table. It was like for fun, you know. I said, I will do the same. And then after, you know, I left my table, and there was some teens next, not far away from my table. And when I left, they directly said to me, oh, you leave the tray on the table, it's bad, you know, like the McDonald's staff are not supposed to do that. They are not paid for doing that. You have, you know, directly they speak to you, and to say, you know, like, it's like, you know, complaining. I mean, yeah, it is actually, because, I mean, that's not really complaining, but it's a bit like confrontation, definitely. And yes, so to conclude with that, I believe complaining, you know, like, you complain about things you cannot change. Like, you complain about the weather, about politics, but it won't improve your life. Your life will be always the same. Stop complaining and do actions, like act in your life with things you can do. Instead of complaining, just, you know, if you don't like your country, just move and go elsewhere. If you're not happy with your job, just maybe be a freelance or go somewhere else in another company. Nowadays, you know, it's not that hard. So many people, they complain about their job from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m., but they just don't move in their job. And also what I found amazing, like, I have worked in France, my family, my friends also, they worked in Belgium. I have worked in the UK, in New Zealand, in Australia, and the only places where people always complain at the workplace are always Belgium and France. And when I moved abroad in English culture countries, UK, New Zealand, Australia, even in Canada, I haven't worked, but I've heard how people behave, and they never complain actually about their boss. I mean, they do sometimes, but in Ireland, I would say a bit more. Maybe it was my company actually, but compared to home for me, compared to France or Belgium, they don't. They definitely don't. Which is like, you know, to me, if you are in a workplace and everybody complain, especially when you just start as a company, it's bad. Like, you know, it feels you, okay, that company is bad. Even if you like your job, if everybody around you complain, you won't be happy in your job. You know, it puts you, like, it's bad mindset. You know, always when you go to the kitchen, having a coffee, you know, at the coffee machine, people will always speak about, they will always complain, always. But it's just normal discussion for them. It's like normal chit-chat. But here, normal chit-chat, like in the UK or in Australia, normal chit-chat will be, I don't know, about good things, about, I don't know, what you did last week, do you like cooking, about your job, about how good are, I don't know, science or IT things, so, you know, but they won't speak about negative things. And you feel much happier, and when you are much happier, you are much better to help others as well. You are in a much better mindset to make things and to move faster. If you are negative when you go home, you won't be in a good mindset to do a lot of things. You will be already tired. You know, like, you don't complain about things you cannot change. It won't change. Just act in where you can do. People love complaining in things they cannot change, you know, like, they complain, but the complaint won't, like, nothing will change. I was speaking about, recently I had a coffee that I didn't like. I didn't complain about giving one star review saying my coffee was bad. No, I actually, when I instead of complaining, if I really don't like something, then I try to fix it instead of complaining, you know. Mourning, I mean, when you mourn, like, doesn't fix. But if you can ask a new coffee, and they will say, you know, sometimes they do something bad, and then they will directly replace your better coffee, and then you're happy and everybody's happy. Sometimes you do mistakes, and me too. I used to work in some coffee shops, and I did bad coffees. And instead of of giving bad review about myself, I much prefer the person to ask if they can have if that the coffee was bad, and I want to give good experience to the customers. So I'm so glad when someone tell me, oh, actually, I'm sorry, but the coffee you made, I think it's not really, the taste doesn't taste really good, and I'm so happy when people do that instead of complaining and then no. And since nothing, actually, you deserve, you paid for it, so you deserve a good service. If you don't like it, then see if you can, speak just to the person, to the customer, instead of showing to everybody your bad review and saying it's bad. No, that's bad. In my case, also, I took as a good habit to, when I'm happy, I give a 5-star review. When I'm not happy, I don't do anything. But so many people and my friends, even my brother-in-law, he told me that as well, and so many people I know back home in Belgium, they say, when I give a review, it's only when I don't like it. If I like it, I don't say anything. But in my case, I took the opposite, because when you give a bad review, again, you put you give to yourself fast food in your head. You give negativity to yourself. If you give a 5-star review, it's like gratitude to yourself. You share gratitude, and after you feel good. If you don't like it, just don't do anything. If you like it, maybe it's nice to share what you love. Sometimes that's important. If someone does a good job, say it. But if you don't like it, first, you will maybe hurt people because maybe they didn't do it on purpose. And second, sometimes people give a bad review because they had to wait for so long, but obviously it wasn't the fault of the waiters or waitress. Sometimes it's just there are not enough staff. And second, when you will write that bad review, you will feed yourself with negativity. And your brain works that way. There's if you always think about negative things, you will create a shortcut, and then the more bad things you will think about, the more your brain will highlight bad things. To me, definitely, try to focus on the positive, and if you need, then mention the negative, but don't focus on the negative. That's really important, because otherwise it's just you can ruin your life. And it usually, when everything I know back home, people complain about things they cannot change, and the best you can do is just to take actions. And you have just one life. I think it's better to be happy than sad. And I believe you won't improve the standard if you are harsh with everybody. People will just be negative, but you won't set the standard higher, the quality higher, if you are harsh with everybody. Definitely not. People will just they will lose their motivation. That's it. Do you have anything to mention about it? About the Asian mindset? What my feedback and what I shared.
I think that's mostly it for me. We're just really non-confrontational, really polite people. So
I love that.
Yeah, we just really respectful as well. We have the culture is just a bit different, I would say.
But at least everybody feel when someone say to you something rude or something you shouldn't do, you don't feel good after. It will take space in your head.
Yeah, it would.
And
it would just ruin both of your days. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
It's like when you complain,
the person complaining will focus about the negative,
yes.
And then you will think about that, and you feel judged.
Yes.
To me, I call that toxic environment.
That's right, toxic environment.
So today is your day. Just focus on on the happy part.
Yes, focus on what is positive and don't focus on the negatives. Well, of course, this is not this does not apply in every cases, of course, but then yeah, try to, you know. It's really good for your mental health.
Exactly, which is the art of not complaining, I would say. So, happy life.
Happy
Let's
New
be
Year.
positive. Let's focus on the positive part. And if you don't like something, maybe for you it will be better for yourself to take actions instead.
Yes.
There's always a way to move things by yourself, but most of the
Actions.
time, complaining or mourning won't change much. That's it for now.
Goodbye.
Have a lovely, happy day.